This presentation is about teachers' talk moves and students' proficiencies in mathematical discussions. Our study explores the relationship between specific instructional strategies known as mathematical talk moves and students' proficiency in constructing viable argument and critiquing reasoning in mathematics. We are Jung Colen, Hoyun Cho, Byung Park, Yong Colen, Jinho Kim, Seungyun, Na-young Kwon, and Jukyung Park. The importance of classroom talk in mathematics instruction has been well known to a lot of mathematics educators. So we know the effect of mathematics instruction depending on classroom talk promotes learning and teaching. We also advocate that students' opportunities have to be given to stimulate their thinking, encourage articulation of ideas, promote argumentation, and facilitate their critical reflection. Not only the USA, but other countries such as South Korea or Singapore also emphasize the role of interactive discourse in mathematics education. So they have some standards that is focusing on students' discussion, classroom discussion. So in essence, promoting meaningful mathematical discussion stands out as one of the cornerstone practices in mathematics education. So we can see some standards such as communication standard from NCTM or standards for mathematical practices. Both highlight the importance of students constructing arguments and critique reasoning of others too. In this paper, in this study, we are using the acronym of CACR, Constructing Arguments and Critiquing Reasoning, to represent the proficiency associated with SMP3. But why don't we use SMP3 instead? The reason why is SMP represent a standard that teachers should nurture in their students, while CACR we are using here signifies the competence expected from students in relation to SMP3. So we are looking at the same standard as the proficiency that students have to develop. So our research focus and objectives are such as these three. Existing studies on communication or CACR related standards provide valuable insights but often lack a comprehensive view of students' engagement in CACR related actions. So we wanted to see more examples and more relationship between students' competency in CACR and what kind of teachers' action has been happened before that. Okay, so emphasis on the scarcity of empirical studies illustrating students' involvement in CACR related actions. So we focus on teachers' talk moves as powerful tools to support students in CACR related actions. We also want to explore the relationship between teachers' talk moves and students' engagement in CACR related actions. So the leading research question is, in what ways are teachers' talk moves related to students' engagement in CACR related actions? So we are looking at CACR related actions in students and what kind of teachers' talk moves happened immediately before that. So CACR related proficiencies, we have 5 of these things, which will be later our coding for CACR. So we categorized as 5 big themes from SMP3. So CACR related proficiencies include understanding and using stated assumptions, definitions, and previously established results in constructing arguments, making conjecture, and building a logical progression of statements to explore the truth of their conjectures, analyzing situation by breaking them into cases and can recognize and use counterexamples, justifying their conclusion, communicating them to others, and responding to the arguments of others. Reasoning inductively about data, making plausible arguments that take into account the context from which the data arose. And we looked at the talk moves in support of CACR related proficiencies too, which include revoicing, repeating, adding on, turning, and talking, and revising. We added more talk moves rather than literature has shown so far based on our data. So we will talk about that too. Methods for this study is qualitative study using a grounded theory. So we are grounding the theory of the relationship between teachers' talk moves and students' proficiency in CACR. And it is also case study with two subunit analysis between teacher and students. And we have two cases, teachers' teaching practices and students' CACR related proficiencies. So the settings for our study is a third grade math classroom at a public elementary school in South Korea. Jay is a teacher who taught 6 multiplication lessons. The tasks created by Jay is a set of very high cognitive demanding tasks with a lot of variety of entry and ending points. So this is the table for the task. The task 1, 2, 3. I don't think we have a lot of time for that because this video has to be 5 minutes. So please go back to look at the tasks. These tasks are made by Jay. In data collection, the main data is videotaped and transcribed mathematics classroom of Jay, and supplementary data includes field notes of the teacher, interview with the teacher, and some images of student work and written work on the board. In analysis, we focused on how talk moves instigate students' development of each coded CACR. There were 5 codings, right? So we were looking at how talk moves brings out students' development of CACR. And 5 components of students' CACR coding frameworks are such as these, though they are already shown to you earlier. And we used open coding for Jay's talk move and found 12 talk moves. And then we revised that to finalize that as 10 talk moves coding framework. So we have some talk moves such as wait time, will you share that with the class, say more, revoicing, repeating, press for reasoning, agree, disagree, and why, adding on, orienting to others, and summarizing. So those 10 codes, some of them with asterisks, they are coming from Chapin, O'Connor, and Anderson's book, Classroom Discussion. But the rest of them, we added more by watching the video of Jay's teaching. And these are the findings. So for the codes A, B, C, D, E, these are from students' CACR codes, and we found students' exhibition of these coding moments. So we found 30 moments of students' action, the talk, that is coded as A, and 4 for B, 0 for C, 56 for D, 23 for E. And these are the number of conceptual breaks. So rather than each sentence, we looked at some chunks with same concept that is embedded in that. So we are using conceptual breaks as our unit here. And this is the teacher's talk moves prior to student CACR moments. So we looked at the student CACR moments first, and we saw what teacher's talk moves occurred right before that, each of those students' CACR moment. And we found before A, teachers' talk moves 2, 4, 7, and 8 appeared with this frequency. And for B, you can see 2, 5, 8, and 10 appeared with this frequency. So we have shown, oops, what's going on? We have shown the highlighted parts as the most frequent one, which is more than 5 times. And you can see for B, all of these teachers' talk moves were shown only 1 time, so nothing is highlighted. For C, nothing has been shown. For D, teachers' talk move 2, will you share, has shown 28 times. So you can see some variation there. So in the visual ones, we describe that using some diagrams such as this, using spoke as a CACR, and we looked at what kind of talk moves brought out that specific CACR. So for CACRA, understand and use stated assumption and definitions and result. What kind of teachers' talk moves was there before? And we found 2, will you share, 6, press for reasoning, 7, agree or disagree, and adding on. Adding on has shown 6 times. So we have shown the example there, and we have concluded that J used the adding on talk move for more students to verify the commutative property using the fact that they already know. In CACRB, make conjectures and build a logical progression. We saw each of them has appeared only once, right? And there were 4 times that we found this proficiency from the students, and teachers' talk move for each of them had different coding there. One example is given, and that is when J asked G1 to respond to his classmate's question about G1's conjecture of distributive property with a specific example of this, and we found that he exhibited a progression of building logical statements. For CACRD, justify their conclusions, we can see that from the diagram, will you share move, that talk move appeared so many more times compared to others, right? So in this example, J redirects a student's attention to another student's explanation, recognizing their ability to identify their own mistakes by actively listening to their peers. Additionally, he frequently summarizes students' arguments to clarify the mathematical correctness of their claims with a classroom discussion. So we found that J kept asking the students to pay attention to, and if somebody can share their ideas. And for CACRE, listen or read the arguments of others. We have also found some variety of teachers' talk moves there, especially the teacher's summarizing move and will you share appeared a lot of times. So for that example, J adeptly summarized the strategies previously articulated by fellow students and encouraged the others to discriminate between sound and flawed logic or reasoning. So our conclusion, this study is unique in that it systematically eliminates other potential influencing factors on students' exhibition of a CACR, focusing solely on J's talk moves immediately preceding CACR moments within conceptual breaks. This deliberate approach allows us to attribute these moments directly to the facilitated talk moves by the teacher. So, this study extends the existing body of research that advocates for the integration of mathematical talk moves in the classroom as a powerful tool for promoting CACR among students. So, we want to highlight that each category of students' CACR is influenced differently by individual talk moves. Adding on talk moves appeared to enhance students' grasp and utilization of stated assumptions, definitions, and previously established results in constructing arguments. Will you share that with the class? Orienting to others and summarizing talk moves seem to encourage students to justify their conclusions, effectively communicate them to others, and engage with arguments presented by their peers. The consistency and duration of implementation, alongside the students' prior knowledge and background, can all play significant roles in the effectiveness of talk moves. If you have any question, please contact us. Here are the emails of the authors. Thank you so much.